They really need to get up, get dressed, and get out and start having conversations. And are they a part of a networking group? I joined BNI. I've had to recreate myself, reinvent myself. So where are these people finding, where are you as a realtor finding your community? Are you talking to people every day? Or are you sitting at home, kind of sad? Get up, get dressed, get out. You never know what will happen.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Why Do I Suck as a Real Estate Agent podcast. I'm Monte Reyment. My guest today has been doing this for a long time. She ranks in the top 1% of agents in the country. She's a partner at Corcoran Icon Properties out in Piedmont, California, and runs the marketing for her whole brokerage. So stay tuned for that. Today we're going to learn a whole bunch of things. On top of that, she's written some best-selling books. One is Real Estate Rules, 52 Ways to Achieve Success in Real Estate, and the other is Mindset in Motion. On top of that, she knows the business, she knows the mindset behind it, she knows how to teach both. Debbi DiMaggio. Debbi, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I love it. So, rates are up, inventory's a mess. How do you prep a home to make it sell anyway?
Well, there's a couple things. So as I was speaking to a client the other day, she was an older woman, and of course people are living longer. And so they're really concerned about is the home I sell going to take me through to my end of life? And so I started with what I usually like to start of how to prepare a home for sale. And then I had to slowly stop spending money. And so I ended up giving her 3 examples. The first is if you want to sell your home pretty much in any market in our area. I know there's micro markets in different states and cities and neighborhoods bring their house to market in a certain way. So for us, a house has to be pulled together, whether that's refinished floors, for sure, paint, staging, and not just virtual staging because people want to see it, then they want to come in, and then they want to bond to it, and even agents need to see that staging. And changing light fixtures, it's so inexpensive to change a light fixture. You get something off Amazon, I have a link, but you have to. Lighting is jewelry for the home, and it's such a low expense, but it makes a big impact. Same with knobs. And anyway, so doing the Rolls Royce of it, it's 2 ways. Either it comes out of pocket, the seller pays for the reinvention of the house, let's say, because if someone's lived there for a long time, it's going to be dated, even if it was remodeled down the road. We also have these concierge programs that will pay up front, and you just pay at close of escrow, so that works. But this woman, she doesn't want to put anything into it. And I said, okay, so the next thing is you can just empty it. It'll be totally clean, but no furniture. People need to visualize themselves. And then the next step was, and then we can also virtually, and of course with all of those, we always get pre-reports ahead of time. You've got to get the reports ahead of time because then if you don't, you're renegotiating the deal. So we do the home, the roof, the sewer lateral. If there's an ordinance in your area, make sure you get that covered so then there's no renegotiation. So then the other thing you can do is we can do virtual staging. And now it's easy, you don't have to pay for it. You can now do it on ChatGPT. Now, I just want to warn agents is that in your different MLSs, you have different rules. So for us, we have to put the photo, the vacant photo, the empty room, and we have to notate it in the MLS, and then we can put the virtually staged. Yeah. Which doesn't really make sense because when a house is staged, that's staged.
It's
and
still staged, yeah. That's a good point. I've actually never thought of that before, but that's a great point. So when the market gets scary, and a lot of people think it's scary because, across the country it's slower. In some parts of the country, especially on the coast, you're seeing, a little bit of depreciation from where it was before. But most agents run and hide at this point. And, why do you go the other way and chase share?
What do you mean chase share?
Well, I mean, just like, why are you chasing and going positive and going the opposite way than just hiding?
Oh, okay. I was like, me. It's my mindset.
Yeah, right.
I ran the LA Marathon on mindset to prove I could. So let's start there. When the market is tough, you've got to be positive. You've got to uplift. But I also truly believe, people are buying houses in good markets and bad markets, but when it's down, this is the perfect time for a buyer to step in. It doesn't matter the rates. What does my lender always say? Date the house, date the house.
Marry the house.
Marry the rate, date the house. Marry the rate, date the
other way around.
Date the rate, marry the house.
There you go.
So It's so important, and that is so true. When he first said it, I didn't really get it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. When the down market came, I'm like, yes, buy the house. The rates will eventually come down, but you're going to have less competition. Or if you're not in a competitive market, the price will be lower on the house, and you'll get in. And I don't know why many buyers don't see that. They want to wait for the herd, and it's that herd mentality, and then they lose. I loved it that I had these young clients in their early 30s, and when the market was really bad, they bought, and they're sitting pretty. It's just, I was like, you guys are smart.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing about it is too, I think too many people they lock themselves into a label of I'm a listing agent or I'm a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
And I prefer to be both because one, it allows me to stay fresh in both areas, especially as a broker. I'm doing training and other things, so I'm still producing. But the one thing I think that I started off doing was everybody should start as a buyer's agent, quite honestly, because that's where you cut your teeth, and nobody's going to trust you to list their biggest asset, until they know that you have the experience and the knowledge in the market and how to run it. So being a buyer's agent's there. At some point, just jumping off and just being a listing agent, it works for some, but in a slower market, you have to be able to make some income. So where's your head at with that?
Oh my God, I blanked. Quick, short version of the question.
Yeah, just like as far as why should you be both buyer and seller?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Locking yourself
yes, it's important. Well, first of all, you're going to start as a buyer's agent because that's the only way. You're going to meet people at open houses. You're going to start as a buyer's agent, or you can do both, but you'll start basically, and you'll get more. You're not going to get a listing like you said right away unless you know someone and they want to give you a shot. But I like doing both because I like to serve both, and I serve people. I don't serve a commission or a transaction. One of my colleagues in my BNI group just gave me a DNA test to establish my personality and what would be what would I say about myself, what someone say about me. And it's so funny, and I've always said this, I'm not transactional. It's not about the commission. Yes, of course, I have to make money to earn a living to live, but I lead from the heart. I lead from helping. So whether I'm helping a buyer or seller, it doesn't matter. I'm helping people, and I'm not helping price point. It's luxury as a service, not a price point, I've always said. So I think it's really important to be balanced. I mean, it doesn't have to be balanced, but it's important to work both sides. And then you're in the trenches on both sides, and you can really help. And the market evolves and changes, and you've got to keep up with what's going on. And when you're in the trenches, you really know what's going on and how to help each side.
For sure.
And
Yeah. So you had mentioned before, and this is all about mindset, right? I mean, the Why Do I Suck as a Real Estate Agent podcast is really about that. It's about the mindset of an agent struggling. And most times agents it's not because they don't have the talent or they don't have the skill. It's because they don't have the right mindset to do this. And speaking of mindset, you had mentioned a little bit earlier that you ran the LA Marathon. So tell me about that story. What did the training look like? What did it teach you? How do you take that mindset and apply it to real estate? So let's start with just what made you run the marathon for one?
Sure. So we were sitting in St. Bart, and I'll never forget, December 13th, 2023. This is going to be my TED Talk next week in South Africa. We were sitting on vacation in St. Bart, one of the most beautiful places in the world, having this really wonderful time. And our son turns to us and said, I'm leaving in January for OSC. And I said, what is that? And he said, Officer Candidate School. And I said, okay, what's that? And he said, the Marines. And my chin dropped. I was having an out-of-body experience. Am I in a movie? Like, this is not part of who we are. I mean, not that, it just wasn't in our family. We hadn't done that before. It hadn't been something I knew about. And so I just was dumbfounded. And I'm a Sicilian mother, so I'm very protective. And I worried. I had two things I worried about when I heard I was having a boy: circumcision and the draft. And so that was me having my first boy. So he said, when I asked him why, he said 5 words. Or he told me what he said. They were only 5 words. He said, I want to challenge myself. And for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure that out. So when he said that that December to us, by that March, I had planned I started running. I just ran out my door to try to understand and process. Well, by that March, I decided to run the LA Marathon, but I did not tell anyone. And this was a year before my book. So the crazy thing is, when I reverse engineered my goals to come up with the mindset and motion method, it fit right into those 5 goals, the method, the 5 steps. Mm-hmm. And what I really want people to read the book is because you can put any goal If you're overcoming an addiction, a divorce, a real estate, personal goal, any goal you can put into that method. So anyway, I decided to run it, but I didn't tell anyone because people would think I was crazy. I was going to be 60 years old and I wasn't training. I trained my mind. I personally wanted to see if soldiers, because I had to immerse myself in what was Chase going to, go do. And so I needed to immerse myself in the mindset of a soldier, of a Navy SEAL. And I read David Goggins' book. And after I read that, I reframed my thought around the marathon. I said, he actually put his life on the line. He had so many obstacles. I don't have those obstacles. Mm-hmm. So I'm only running a marathon. I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I crossed the finish line. And it wasn't because it was a goal of mine. It was that I broke through a limitation that I wasn't sure from the time I decided to the time I crossed the finish line. I did not know if it would happen. And it did. And it's just proof that when you put your mind to anything, you set yourself up with a goal, you do everything to activate. Key word, my 5th step is to activate. That's where a lot of real estate agents lose it. I'm too busy. I don't have time. That's the biggest thing I see with people, or I don't know how. Between ChatGPT, Google, people that you can see online and reach out to, coaches. I mean, athletes, professional athletes have, 10 coaches. I mean, if you really want to do something, you can. And I have to go, because I haven't told you this. I don't think when we met, if this was a thing. But now, because I'm so determined to show people with bringing in supportive people and activating and researching and training, you can do anything. So I received an email, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was an AI generated link. It was the Great World Race. Come run with us, 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. And I thought it was a joke, and I replied. I said, I'd need a sponsor. And then he replied back, and he said, all right, well, let me know if you get a sponsor. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a real thing, 7 marathons, 7 continents in 7 days. So he responded back with the areas, the continents, and the cities that we'd be going to. And so I am now determined to train, and they've given me a trainer, Dermot McDermott, who is from Ireland, and he's an Olympian athlete coach. And I am seeking sponsors because I want to do that. I want to prove that with training and activating and doing the hard work, I could do that. When I first heard about it, I thought it was crazy. I don't think it's crazy now. The crazy part right now is really finding the sponsors to support me. I also have a parallel mission, is that I am supporting Girls on the Run North Bay, and it's a charity, and it's an international charity. So people can donate $25 or more. They can be a part of it, and they can put down their website for their business or their personal website, and they can write out a goal. And I want them to focus on and train and practice and do whatever it is to achieve their goal.
Love it. Love it. So 7 days, 7 continents. That's got to be a logistical. That's crazy. I mean, you get one flight delay and that whole thing is off.
I know. Yeah. Weather, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a private plane, of course, a private jet.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, Antarctica is the first stop. So if that's not crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. So that's incredible. So, all right. Well, obviously that's the mindset thing. So let's talk about the 5 steps. I mean, you wrote a book about
Sure.
it. What are the 5 steps?
The first thing is you have to have a goal, be crystal clear. So when I was running that marathon, although this framework wasn't built yet, I was very clear. I wanted to cross the finish line. That was it. Number 2 is to believe. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew I was going to do it. That's the belief part. Don't worry how you're going to get there. Number 3 is internalize. I saw myself crossing that finish line a number of times. For me, I brought in people, athletes who, swimmers and track stars and people who actually completed. And I know what they do. I know they practice and rehearse to, whether it's to cross the finish line or get the touchdown, they're rehearsing in their mind, getting the 3-pointer or whatever it is in basketball. So I saw myself crossing the finish line, and that was a big part of my training. And then I read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, and I reframed everything. I'm running a marathon. I'm not putting myself in harm's way. And that was pretty much the pivotal point. It's all about reframing the market, the real estate market. It's all about reframing and, yes, staying up and positive, but putting in the hard work and not complaining. So I did it. So then share, the next step 4 is share with supportive people. you can't share with everyone some goals because people will put their limitations on you or their doubt. You want to share with people who will strengthen your belief, not diminish it. You don't need any naysayers when you're trying to work on a goal. It's your goal, so don't share it with people who are going to belittle it or bring negativity around it. And then the fifth step, this is where most people fall short, it's to activate. This is where you can reach out to people you don't know online. I've done it 3 times and I had 3 big successes with my book and with my podcast. Just reach out. It could be people you don't know. Get coaches. There's a Facebook group page for everything. I mean, there's so much support. So you have to activate. And those are your 5 steps. And it works with everything.
So somebody listening right now is having the worst year in real estate that they've ever had. They're thinking about quitting. What's the first thing they can do tomorrow morning?
They really need to get up, get dressed, and get out and start having conversations. And are they a part of a networking group? I joined BNI. I've had to recreate myself, reinvent myself as the kids, you go through, the kids are little and you're involved in those activities. Then you're in school and you're in school with them. And then all of a sudden they go to college, your life changes, your communities change. So where are these people where are you as a realtor finding your community? Are you talking to people every day? Or are you sitting at home, kind of sad? Get up, get dressed, get out. You never know what will happen. And I've heard so many times when that happens, when people finally do get up and get out and they start having conversations, good things happen.
Yeah.
So you can't sit waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah. So you had mentioned a couple of things. You brought up BNI a bunch of times, and we have BNI groups here in Northeast Wisconsin as well. And so you're talking about connection, right? Like real estate is really about, to me, it's not, houses are easy, people are hard. That's my mentality. But the other thing about it is the connection you have with not just like the buyers, the sellers. I don't even like using the term clients. I like using the word community or like fans, friends. So when you say connection, what does that look like in your week? Like if you were to go through your week, what does that look like?
So I'm only into BNI for two years, and my biggest piece of advice to anyone is get into a networking group. There's another one called H7 and One Master Networkers. There's so many different ones, but what I will tell you just about BNI, because what I love is how structured it is, that you have a meeting every week, so you're seeing those same people, and everyone is has a different job. There's there's only one realtor, one lender, one financial planner, etc. So you give your pitch every week to the same people, yes, but the goal is that you refer people within your group, but then you have the whole international BNI. So I could reach out to you if you were in BNI, and it would be easy to connect. And so it's about referrals, it's about continuing education, it's about one-on-ones, doing what we're doing right now, getting to know each other. If you can say people, or and then you put their information in your app and you can go back to it. And also when someone's in BNI, because there's so much responsibility around it, they're elevated to another standard. If you refer someone, because there are standards to stay within BNI. But for realtors, let me go one further. I didn't know this till the beginning of the year. If you're in BNI, you can join the BNI National Group, which I have meetings with them, not only for one-on-ones, but we also have 3 meetings a month, like a Zoom for an hour. So I'm continually, and we work on this. The key is what I'm saying is for agents connecting is referrals. Most of the deals we close are referrals, either out or in. It's amazing, and that's such a great way to work because you're working with people who are sending you, or you're sending someone who is a serious buyer, and they have a connection, and it's so nice.
Love it. So that's a great point. That's obviously, again, finding something. Now, I would imagine you had mentioned a couple of things about the marathon and then having a purpose as well. The purpose behind, your first thing is a goal. So combining a couple of things in this question with you is like the biggest mistake people make chasing a goal, but also aligning that within a purpose, I think, is important. So I'm assuming that's how you kind of live by that, I'm assuming.
I do everything that way. So, when I got the email, let's say, about the Great World Race and the marathons, and I was like, and then I told it, I shared it with someone. He's a founder, Bruce Bott. He's actually working on a real estate platform, Bruce Bott. I'm going to send it to you so you can share what his platform is. Mm-hmm. Well, he's a founder and an engineer, and he said, I want to help you to achieve this goal. So he created a website, Debbi Runs the World. But for me, and this is where the answer comes in, for me, I do everything from the heart, and what I do has to align with me giving to someone else or some group. So I'm giving to, as I'm talking about running the race, and I want people to choose a goal for themselves so I can prove that if they have a goal and establish it and follow the method and activate, they will achieve that goal. But at the same time, I'm also talking every day, all day about Girls on the Run, and I'm interviewing the board, someone who works for Girls on the Run North Bay on Thursday on my podcast. So everything I do has some charity component, and in my real estate buyers and sellers, I'm always helping them. How can I serve you? How can I help you? Do you need a resource? It doesn't matter if they're looking to buy today, tomorrow, or in 5 years. I'm here to help you now and make your life easier.
I love it. I love it. So you've written 2 books. You've written 6 books. I only know of 2.
It's okay. We don't need to go through all of them, but I had 2 real estate books, The Art of Real Estate and 52 Ways to Achieve Success in Real Estate. And then, of course, Mindset in Motion, which is my pride and joy.
Which is a real estate book in general. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the one biggest thing about this business is it will eat you up and chew you up if you let it. And so, it sounds like you have a ton of resilience, So what happens to that agent who never really builds any resilience?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to stay in something like real estate where it's all on us, right? It's like, I liken it to going to college, and we have pretty much structure when we're living at home with our family, and then we go to college, and all of a sudden, like, we could do whatever we want, but it's on us to structure our day. And that's how, I can't explain. We try, my husband's the broker of our real estate company, and we try to tell them, like, you have to structure your day, or, go on tour, doing open houses. Now, one of the things an agent did, he was new. He wasn't new to business. He had been a successful Hollywood agent, and he went into real estate, and he did open houses like 5 or 6 days a week. And on Saturday and Sunday, he would do a morning open house and an afternoon open house. So don't tell me you don't have time when someone like that is just doing an open house every single day. It's about, do you want to succeed? What's your mindset? And are you going to put in the work? Yeah. It's as simple as that.
It's so crazy because we have a guy in our office now. He just started with us. He came from another brokerage who really kind of handicapped him as far as like putting the handcuffs on him and not letting him be himself. And so he's come over here, and I'm pretty loose. I'm like, dude, you want to try whatever you want to try, go ahead. And so sometimes I have to rein him in just a little bit so he doesn't go wild. But he's put in so much effort and so much work, and he's starting to see the fruits of his labor extremely quickly. But he's just doing the right things, so, and he's doing it, and he's just effort, right? Like, effort is really this business is what it comes down to. There's a lot of nuance and savviness and all the other things you'll pick up. But at the end of the day, if you're putting the effort in and you're just out meeting people and you're driven to succeed, you're going to succeed. It's just a matter of how long and, how much of a beating can you take before you get through it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's just, you just have to keep going. And I try to help people, like when I'm coaching agents, sometimes, like, I remember this agent came in, she was newer, and she's like, I didn't get it. And then I said, well, who was the agent who got it? And it was a personality thing, whether it's, I'm Sicilian, I might connect with someone that way. Different cultures, they tend to, connect sometimes. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your skill, your knowledge, skill, and experience. It could be they just connected with someone. So try not to beat yourself up, but you have to keep getting out there and meeting people. And again, I go back to, I love networking with other professionals because that's what we do. I wish I knew when I was younger, networking wasn't just go to a chamber meeting and hang out and like give out cards. Like, I had no idea that it was so formal. And I'm like, this is the best thing because it's so fun to talk to another professional because you get it and you're trying to grow your business while helping, their client or a client that they'll refer to you.
For sure. So any closing thoughts, like for those agents who are out there who are struggling, they think they suck, what's the best advice you can give them?
Well, I like to make things easy for people as a coach. And so I just have to say, this book, Mindset in Motion, Activate Purpose, Power, and Peak Performance, you can read it in small doses. There's also a workbook for it. But if you put in the work, it'll come back. And I also have for free on School, SKOOL, school.com. I talk about a program called Foundation for Success that I created. I can also coach them, in a 2 or 3 hour session. I can get them through it. But I talk about 5 different, like every home needs a strong foundation, so does your business, whether it's a service, product, or brand. So I go through those steps. But right now it is on school.com, Debbi DiMaggio, for free.
For sure. And where can people find your books?
book.com. It's on Amazon and others, but if you go to mindsetinmotionbook.com, you can go there. And if you want to get a hold of me, it's DebbiDiMaggio.com, DebbiDiMaggio.com. I love to help people.
Love it. And we'll have the links in all the show notes. So, guys, if this was a hit and you share it with somebody who needs it, please do. The new episodes every week. Thank you so much, Debbi, for coming on. I'm Monte Reyment, and this is the Why Do I Suck as a Real Estate Agent podcast. Debbi, thanks again.
Thank you.
You bet. So that's a wrap here on the Why Do I Suck as a Real Estate Agent podcast. Thank you so much for spending time with me and our guests. The people you hear on the show really aren't guessing. They've been doing the work. They've been doing it for a long time. They're sharing their behaviors, their habits, their successes, their systems that actually lead to real work, real success. So please subscribe and follow so you don't miss the next conversation. Until next time, remember, you don't suck. You're learning. It's the beginning, or maybe you're in a rut, but you don't suck. So make a few changes, stay curious, stay consistent, and please keep coming back.